My name is Roman Dennis, and I was lucky enough to be chosen as NMSU's first Global Film Scholar. This is a scholarship provided by the CMI department at NMSU, as well as the Office of Education Abroad. And the whole purpose of this scholarship was to send a film student like myself to follow a class at NMSU that was going to go abroad and to document their travels. Now, I was incredibly excited when I found out that I won this scholarship, but at the same time very nervous and skeptical because my particular assignment was to follow this class to the Amazon rainforest in Peru to collect bugs. Now, a little bit about myself is I have no outdoors experience, I've never really been camping, and I also hate bugs. So you can see my hesitations going into this thing. Although I will say it turned out to be one of the best experiences of my life that I will never forget, and you will see exactly why. But before I go on, let me introduce you to the class that I followed.
What I thought I'd do is go through, we have everybody I think here, right? And so I want to do a few last minute things since we're leaving on Monday. Is that sinking in with everybody? Time, yeah. So, my name is Scott Bundy. I'm an entomologist here, professor of entomology. I'm also director of the NMSU Arthropod Collection, and I've been here for about 17 years now. The class is tropical insect ecology, and the main goal is to give the students an appreciation for the diversity and the biology of insects in a tropical environment. So we should probably go around the room maybe and introduce everyone.
My name is Anthony. I'm majoring in horticulture and agronomy.
My name is Andres Osorio. I'm a wildlife ecology major.
Well, my name is Helen Vessels. I graduated with my degree in agricultural biology.
Well, my name is Derek Cosper. I'm an entomology plant pathology lead scientist.
My name is Katie McLean, and I'm not really a student right now. I occasionally take classes because I enjoy learning stuff.
So my name is Danielle Lara. I'm majoring in ag biology.
What was the main, motivation for you to take this course?
I've always wanted to go to the rainforest, really.
Long-standing desire to go to the Amazon.
Well, I'm a photographer, and I'm looking forward to getting some nice pictures.
And I figured it'd be one of the once-in-a-lifetime trip to get out of the U.S.
Just catching the biggest, craziest insects I can find. Oh, that'd be really cool.
Alright, so it's 4:38 in the morning. I'm on my way to the El Paso airport, and I'm very excited, a little bit tired. But yeah, just most importantly, ready to be in Peru. Now, while I won't bore you with the entire details of the journey, let's just say it was a rather long day of travel. Well, after a 26-hour travel day, finally made it to Cusco.
He's not here yet. He's still in the back. Okay. The flight in was great. I mean, the landing was pretty impressive.
Beautiful, right? Seeing all those mines.
Impressive, yeah.
This is your first time in Peru?
First time in Peru, first time in South America.
I'm extremely tired right now.
Yeah.
It was a long flight. Really, really long.
We hopped in our shuttle and headed towards the hotel. While on the way there, we met our guide Tom, who was going to help us throughout the rest of the trip.
Hi, so I'm Tom, and I work for Kaya. My job is to make sure that the students have a good and enjoyable program and get a really good study and service experience.
Hi, I'm Edgar. I will be like your tour guide for these days. We are working this week with you and Chris, so whatever you need, you must ask for help to Araceli or me.
The city of Cusco is absolutely charming. We had a couple days to take in the sights and the sounds before we spent our next week in the Amazon rainforest. And we were off. The drive there was the most beautiful yet terrifying thing I had ever been through. We drove through various beautiful landscapes, all while on a single narrow road about 9,000 feet in the air, with no barrier to protect you from rolling off into your death.
Oh, I know why they have that. Thanks, man.
Another baby.
Yes. Good job here.
smokes, the road's bad.
We kept driving higher and higher until we finally realized why the area that we were driving through was called the Cloud Forest. I had never driven into the clouds like this before. We eventually made our descent down into the Amazon. Throughout this journey, we kept running into these giant trucks that we had to just magically maneuver around. And this added another hour to what was already about a 9-hour drive. All of a sudden, we'd stopped to pick up some man that was in the middle of the road. We eventually found out he was the guide that was going to take us to our lodge.
Hey, welcome to Mr. Florencio. He's the owner of the Zapanza Chayo Lodge.
Oh, okay.
So we are.
Hola. Hola.
We just arrived. Sí.
We're going over the park.
We've made it to the Cloud Forest base. We've got a rather wet welcome, so we're already geared up in our rain ponchos. You guys all good? We're already slipping.
We kept venturing further down until we finally reached a river.
This is the part where we cross the river? So there's no bridge here, so these guys are gonna have to go all the way over there using whatever that is. What's going through your mind right now?
This is what I shook the thing.
Oh, that is so cool, dude.
Very much. This part's cool.
I was kind of excited to do it, really, because it just seemed like something you don't do, and most people don't do, you know?
Is it pretty easy to get across?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. There at the end, though, it takes some strength. Yeah.
We hiked on for a bit further to our accommodations, where we enjoyed a nice candlelit dinner and got ready for another big day the next morning. That next morning, we were treated to a nice breakfast, and we got to learn a little bit more about our gracious host.
Yo soy Florencio Amán Quiquispe, es el dueño de este lugar, del Zapanza Chayo Lodge. Este lugar es donde nosotros vivimos y toda la familia habitamos y hacemos este pequeño negocio. Y más que todo es porque yo desde joven me he dedicado a la conservación y siempre he trabajado para el Estado en el área de conservación. Entonces por ese motivo yo me he quedado en este lugar a seguir haciendo conservación y proteger la naturaleza y también el gallito de las rocas. Ese es mi único objetivo y para sobrevivir tengo este negocio.
Yo soy cocinera de Zapanza Chayo, yo me llamo Antonia. Para mí es bueno cuando recibimos a los pasajeros, a los grupos, estamos siempre para atender, listos para atender. Tenemos ese corazón de tal vez de atenderlos bien, queremos que salgan bien los grupos hasta el último.
we made it as far as we can on land, and now we're headed out to the boat. We're going to take the river to our final destination and the rainforest.
So after 9 hours in the car and a 20-minute boat ride later, we'd finally made it to our destination.
Two guys, do you two want to go in these rooms on the bottom?
We're still here?
Yeah, we're still here. Hi everyone, my name's Lawrence, I'm from the UK and I'm the assistant coordinator for the Crease Foundation here at the MLC. And we have a huge variety of different people coming here from all over the world with different experiences, and these people are invited to add their knowledge to whatever part of Crease they feel they can develop further. The Medicinal Garden and Biogarden are prime examples of that, where we've had numerous locals and even international volunteers come who've had expertise in sustainable agriculture and agronomy and things like that, and they've helped us develop these projects, and their knowledge is obviously vitally important for fresh ideas, basically.
After our arrival, we had the rest of the day to just relax and get ready for the big week that we had ahead of us.
Actually, this activity could be everywhere.
So let's do that one as close as we can.
Yeah?
Yeah, where they're having.
We had planned our attack for the day and set out for our adventure. Our mission was simple: find butterflies. We broke off into 2 groups and went to 2 different parts of the rainforest where we had traps set up. It rained the entire time.
So the guy was just telling us now we're in PCR, which is partially something. I'll figure out what it is.
It was partially cleared and restored.
But this basically means it's less disturbed by human intrusion.
We were now in a part of the rainforest with the least amount of human contact, so we were excited to see what we might find. There were 3 different traps hung at different heights in the rainforest. Each would collect its own different type of butterfly. We checked all of them. We found nothing. After a rather disappointing hike back, we regrouped with everybody at base and discussed what everybody had found on this trip so far.
Cool. Can you just tell me a little bit more about the hike? Was it challenging, and what kind of stuff did you come across?
So on the hike, before we started the hike, it was raining, and it started raining maybe about 4:30 this morning, and rained for a really long time, and it was raining pretty good.
I immensely enjoyed it, though. It was exhilarating, it was challenging, and I felt like a personal achievement was made just by getting there and back without any major injuries.
It was a little intense at certain parts. There's some steep slopes and some rocks that would easily slide off, and mud all over the place. We were slipping a lot, crossing some creeks.
The trails were muddy. We were walking through puddles that were probably like up to your calf, maybe up to your knee.
It started off pretty easy, and then we got to there's some places that was a little sketchy, a little scary to go down, but I mean, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't terrible.
So I had a lot of fun. Not too many insects found along the way, but I did find this reasonably large, it's called a best beetle.
We caught this beetle, which is a fungus beetle.
I found this little weevil.
You said you had this one trained, right?
Yeah, I trained it.
What tricks is it now?
Okay, I'm gonna make it play dead. It was working earlier. There we go.
That's impressive.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
This is what we like to call a cave roach. They're one of the larger roach species in the world.
And this doesn't freak you out at all, holding that?
No, not at all. They're harmless, so no concern there.
Now, is there anything on your wish list or any kind of particular bug you're looking for, you're hoping to find this week?
I guess I'd like to see more spiders. I know they have a really big tarantula here, so that I'd like to see.
While we look for insects, I also hope to see a little more diversity in like reptiles and different things like that that the jungle has to offer.
I hope to find more assassin bugs, definitely, because that's what I'm studying.
I'd like to see a tapir or even a macaw. That'd be really awesome. I saw some macaws flying over, but I couldn't quite tell what kind they were or see much detail. It'd be cool to see one up close.
I had those nightmares. I was talking about Laura. I was like, okay, so I forget the name, but there was a creature. Like I asked the guy in the base that I was working with.
So today we're going to go down to the river and we're going to look at some aquatic insects. We're going to collect some aquatic larvae. Aquatic larvae can be used as bioindicators of stream health. So we're going to go and learn about what's in the local streams here.
Compass and whistle, yeah, you have long sleeves, if not repellent, because the area that we are going to visit is a lot of mosquitoes. Mosquitoes can transmit diseases around. It's not common here, but also just a precaution. Other thing, we have some wildlife around here. If we see a big cat, don't run away. Worst idea, just stay quiet together, take some pictures. I'll be in charge of them, just to protect yourself.
They did.
One of them was looking at the ground, so it was probably it.
Yeah, that's the branch we saw yesterday. That's so cool.
It's on the ground. The snake is on the ground.
They do. It's like they just try if they are ready or not. They are not doing no.
Oh man, it's picking up.
Yeah.
And you don't know if we're
I don't know, it was awesome because like I just kept seeing the silhouettes flying over, and then we saw two of them sitting in a tree, and I got some good shots of them. That's something coming here that I really wanted to get.
Yep. There's a ton.
Wow, that is really
Take a picture
cool.
of that. Yeah.
If that bites you, I suppose it's quite painful.
Yeah, he got a little grip on me earlier. It didn't hurt too much. But I'm sorry.
It's a megaloptera, they call it Dobson fly. Larvae are called helgramites. You see those mandibles, pretty wicked. They use them in, fly fishermen use them, they're good fish bait. But the males are really cool because they have these really long mandibles that stick out, and they think they may use them in defense. Kind of a courtship type of thing, fighting one another, but they really bite. See?
That's what we did last time.
Was it same spot?
We can do a different part of that if you want.
So this is a black light, and it's a great way to collect insects. So the black light draws the insects in, they hit a sheet, they bounce down. If we see it better from the other side, you'll see how they fall in. And we just collect them or observe to see what shows up. So it pulls them in from, could be high in the canopy or anywhere else around. So it's a pretty efficient way to kind of see what's in an area. Let me plug it in real fast and just show you. So then it's like, come in, hit that, and we see what happens.
See that one hiding behind the black one?
Tiny, cute
Oh,
little
look at
bugs.
this weird. That looks like a cockroach almost, but it's a moth.
So it hangs there like that. It's like a folded up leaf. Can I see like the leaves have been around right there?
Yeah. Whoa, little skipper.
Oh, there it is right here. You see the gold trim on the lower half of its wings? You see it when the... Oh.
Oh, why are you so cool? How delicate you are.
We found a lot of crazy bugs that night, and even found out that some of them were edible.
All right, so these are termites, and the little light ones are the workers, and the ones with the dark heads, kind of sclerotize, they're called nozzle heads, and they actually will spray chemicals. They have their heads full of chemicals, and you can pop them in your mouth. They don't taste that good. Some of them taste like pepper. They taste way better than that one. But they use chemicals to spray out, and they defend the colony against things trying to eat them.
Well, here we go. How many Scovilles?
Definitely has chemical taste. And
Yeah. All right, so they have me curious now, so bon appetit. Wow, it really is minty.
Yeah, it is, huh?
New breath mint idea.
Mine was earthy.
I wouldn't have had to bring it back. I think that's crazy long.
So today we're going into what they call closest to primary forest. So it's farthest back in the Manu, and we're going to see some different habitats and some different levels of deforestation that's recovered. So we're getting back to the most pristine part of the forest today.
And now it's time for a little rainforest history lesson. So throughout this film, you've seen us go on hikes, and you've seen us pass by little signs that look like this. Now what these signs are indicators of different levels of deforestation that exist in the rainforest. Now deforestation essentially means that over time and human existence, we've gone into these forests and we've cut down trees and used resources for things like logging. And so there are three levels. There is CCR, which is completely cleared and restored. PCR, which is partially cleared and restored, and SLR, which is selective logging and restored. CCR had the worst conditions with the most human intrusion, and SLR was the most pristine and naturalistic conditions. Now, what's cool about organizations like CREASE and the Manu Learning Center is that these guys are actively trying to conserve these areas and build them back up to their most original state, so that, the original wildlife can continue to grow and thrive, and we can come in and conduct research and also help preserve these areas as well.
It's like a... You could see if I wanted to go higher?
Yeah, it was.
I hope I got it. So we saw two different types of wasp right there. The paper wasp was the one that was building that construction underneath the leaf. What was interesting there is you had the queen that was building that colony, but then you have this other parasitoid wasp, which was probably a nyctomonid or maybe a braconid wasp, and they parasitize other insects. So it may have been coming in to lay its eggs in that particular wasp. So it's kind of interesting behavior in action right here. And what we saw there in that, you see in that footage, is that wasp was going in around the queen and laying its eggs in the larvae of the paper wasp nest. So for some reason, it's able to calm down that queen and sneak around it, lay eggs. Then its larvae will develop inside the larvae of the paper wasp and kill them from the inside out. So interesting behavior.
Yeah, they're definitely sneaking back out.
Looks angry. Yeah, like got
It
that
probably is.
hug face going on.
They bite too.
Oh.
It's mandibles on that thing.
Ooh!
Listen to it squeak. So to put it too close to your ear,
Yeah.
you get an ear ring. Close to my ear, okay.
Are you listening? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, you can hear it. It's kind of going, what the?
That's all I
I'm not
need.
going to put it in your ear.
Oh yeah, I hear it. Poof, 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 poof.
Yeah, so it's a longhorn beetle, and the larvae feed on in the wood of trees, and so some places are considered to be pests. And
Take two.
it doesn't hurt that bad. So yeah, longhorn beetle. This is the adult. The larvae are called roundhead borers, and they feed in trees, and so they have pretty tough mandibles. But look at the size of those things right there. Longhorn because they're very long antennae. So it's a pretty beetle. Ow, son of a! That one hurt. That's your blood.
Oh no. He didn't want you to hold it.
Man.
That one did hurt.
That one got you right in the finger, huh?
Yeah. It's a little blood. Hey, I don't want there.
So here we've got some damselfly larvae and dragonfly larvae, caddisfly larvae, mayfly larvae, and beetle larvae. So all of these in their own, have their own little spatial, their own little ecological niche in their stream. So we have a lot more diversity here than we have yesterday, which is indicative of more microhabitats and probably better stream health, a lot better stream health. It's much less human impact, more heterogeneity. Yeah.
Awesome. We hung out for a bit longer and eventually made our way back to base.
What would you do if Roman had to record your entire life?
Well, this is too funny. I would ask Roman to film the whole encounter.
Wow, that's weird.
Meta, dude, meta. Inception.
That night I found this little guy sitting on the screen door of my cabin. I decided to capture him because, up until this point I really hadn't done anything except film everybody else. So I got this one for myself. Now this was one of those things in life where you do something and you don't realize it's going to be such a big part of your life until after the fact. And that's why I'm so glad I got this bug. because it was a representation of this amazing trip that I had been on with this awesome group of people that 2 weeks ago were complete strangers to me, and now I have created memories with them that I will never forget.
Think about that the next time I'm making love.
So, what were your overall thoughts on this whole trip?
I've done several of these trips. These trips are a really good opportunity to get out with people that you wouldn't maybe normally spend time with and experience a different culture.
When I first got here, I really didn't know what to expect. But then once we got settled in and stuff, it really opened my eyes to everything that's here.
I had an awesome experience. It was nice to just to explore the rainforest.
It was all fun. I had fun every single day.
Overall, it was a great adventure for most people. We got to see a lot of things we've never had a chance to see before.
Some of the highlights, I guess, were some of the deep hikes that we did.
The favorite part is definitely the hikes out in the rainforest.
Seeing a scarlet macaw.
Just being here, to be honest.
Being disconnected from the rest of the world, it kind of like opens your mind a little bit.
What are you gonna miss about this place?
Probably the atmosphere.
The people that we came with were really awesome. Everybody was open to everything.
We didn't really know each other very well going into it, and yet we all pretty well get along.
So it just kind of sucks that we probably won't be together in one group again.
Damn, I don't know how to answer that question, Roman. You threw me a curveball. I think I'm gonna miss about this place. The humidity.
I guess it's really easy to get caught up in stuff when you're working a lot, and it's easy to forget like what's important to you.
Everybody got along really well. Like I said, we had great food, great adventures, and so it'll be hard for us to not be together as a group there.
Anything else you want to add?
I think these trips are important for people that might be on the fence or even thinking that this is the kind of thing that they would never do. Those are the people that really grow the most from having this experience.
If you get a chance, you better come to Mana Learning Center because it's pretty awesome here. You want to stay for a really long time, and it's really cool.